Congressman, as always, thanks for being with us. What can you tell us about the new federal unemployment proposal? That seems to be what everybody's watching. And what are the chances this actually passes, as Democrats want a lot more in this bill? We're talking to the tune of 3 times as much.
Yeah, Jim, so let's just talk about whether it's got a shot to pass. You've got a number of Republicans in the Senate that don't want to spend the $1.2 to $1.5 trillion that's in this package. The Democrats want to spend over $3 trillion, so you've got a major spending discrepancy there. You've got some issues with regard to how they're going to implement this unemployment bonus that they're giving. So they want to ratchet it back a little bit, but some economists are saying, well, what you're going to do is you'll still place 50% of the working folks are still going to make more by being unemployed than they would be going back. So it's going to actually provide a perverse incentive, which just like the last package did, which actually with that bonus, it was 75% of people made more with state unemployment plus the federal bonus on top of it, which is an extra $600 a week. So your question is it going to pass? I would doubt it's going to pass in its current form, and then it has to come out of the House, and Nancy Pelosi's really she's talking back her HEROES Act, which is about $3.2 trillion. So that's what you're talking about, Jim, is these massive amounts of money spent and how it's being spent.
So I know what your answer is to more than $3 trillion. That's a no. Are you a no on this package?
Well, I haven't seen it exactly, but I am a lean no because they don't have any pay-fors. They don't put any ways to pay for this money that they're giving, and that's going to just add. We're going to be pushing $30 trillion in national debt here, Jim, literally within the next 2.5 months. Think of that, $30 trillion in national debt, and that will be an increase of about $5 trillion to $7 trillion, depending on who's calculating it, in the last 4 months.
I wanted to ask you this, because even Steve Mnuchin was talking about this yesterday. There's $1 trillion left over from the last coronavirus relief. How does that work, and why hasn't that been spent?
It's because the way it was structured, some of it was very difficult to spend, and other parts of it, they were spending so much money, they didn't have as big as, you're not going to believe this when I tell you, as big as the D.C. bureaucracy was, they didn't have enough bureaucrats and administrative procedures to get that money all out the door.
Wow.
So, for instance, you've got $13 billion sitting there right now in education funds that has been virtually untouched.
We're talking with Congressman Andy Biggs from Arizona about this new coronavirus relief package the White House and Senate Republicans have come up with. He says he's leaning no, but we're gonna lean on your knowledge a little bit here. What you do know about direct payments, lawsuit protection. What are the other key parts of this bill, at least from what you've heard?
Well, so you're right. So the first one is that McConnell's non-starters, if it doesn't have a liability protection, but his liability protection is going to be, that's something we have to look in the weeds about. I mean, I actually introduced one, I think it's 3 months ago now, fairly early on in this thing. So we have to see what he's doing. Then you have another $1,200 per person going out the door. Democrats want more. They want $2,000 a month. For each person. They want every person in America to get $2,000 per month. So that's, and there's no indication that it made any bit of difference when the first one came out 2 months ago. So there's that. There's $105 billion for K-12 education when most of K-12 education has indicated they're going to stay shut down. So if that's the case, why are you giving them $105 billion when you already have $13 billion sitting there?
There are other things like, devices to learn from home and those kind of things, I suppose. But yeah, no, if you're not having the buildings open, that does save a lot of money, right?
That's right. And you're right. So some of it is going to go for rural broadband, but don't forget that there was rural broadband put in the last bill, in the CARES package. So you're going to get a lot of duplication, a lot of overlap, and like you say, I want to say the number is $1.3 trillion that's sitting there that hasn't been actually spent from the last bill yet. So I think there's a lot of people like myself saying, why don't you just reallocate what you've already spent if you can't get it out the door, and how are you going to, how would you reallocate that? And they won't give you a serious answer. It's very difficult when you're just blowing money after something to get people to be disciplined in any way. And that's what you're seeing, Jim. This is just kind of part and parcel of